this world will never see righteousness. Because the first leadership of a woman is, the woman is the first principal, the first teacher, the first instructor, the first president, the first vice president. She is everything for the first, that incapable, tiny creature called a child. That's leadership. You know, this is why I say the concept of leadership, if you should understand it from that Western perspective, you will limit it to a director position, or a presidency, or a vice presidency, or a director or a dean of a university. But you try to understand leadership from that Islamic perspective, telling you that somebody whose presence and whose activity is bound to produce results that are impacting on the general people, or on the people as a whole. So for that matter, what somebody will tell you, it is not allowed for a woman to become a president. I don't know where those people are getting their support. On what, evidence they base that concept. But we see that, okay, a woman, well, they will tell you, the Quran or the Sunnah say no. لا يفلح القوم, no people will be successful. يعني تتولى شؤونهم الامرأة. If a woman is overseeing their effort. So if we should literally interpret this hadith, in fact, the hadith will come into a sharp contradiction, collusion with the reality we are seeing in the world. We know that Britain was once ruled by a woman, and it was a good time for Britain. Some countries were ruled by a woman and still now, but they are doing fine. So a reality and a saying of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ should never come to collusion. It is either we don't understand the saying, or we have misinterpreted the saying. But in altogether, a woman has a role in society, a man has a role in society. It is assigned by nature to do what she is naturally empowered to do. If we should come into such issues, whether a woman should occupy that or this, and in our society it is not an issue, we are trying to create a controversy that is absolutely alien to our understanding of a woman and man. So it is irrelevant. So we don't need it. Hence we have a male president. Let's get along. When a woman comes, we can discuss about it. I think you get it.
I think that point has been clarified. So that we can read, what is Islamic point of view in demonstrating against the leader?
Well, demonstration, same thing, our English language. When we say demonstrate, it is an expression of you are expressing something, a feeling, an emotion. It is an expression, but different in different ways of an emotion, of a position, of an idea. Demonstrating against a ruler, because that ruler actually either deviates from the agreed principles that the contract stipulated between him and the people who is ruling, or there is something that is not good, and the society tries as much as possible to eradicate that phenomenon, but yet it is there. Then the people took to the street and demonstrated, expressing their disgust, their offense against the existence of that syndrome in society. You see, when we say demonstration, according to the way we understand it from the Western perspective, I don't think it's even manly for us to do that. Because demonstration can be violent, demonstration can be peaceful. But you can demonstrate, in fact, peacefully against any ruler. Peacefully. But your demonstration should be what? The religion tells us that you tell that ruler that this is something that we want you to do, or this is something that we don't want you to do. You try to just form a committee, an advisory committee, select leaders, give it to the MPs, send somebody to him, tell him that respectfully, because his position entitles you to respect him. Tell him that, okay, this and this is happening. We want you to correct that situation. In fact, you are enjoined, you are obligated religiously, whatever wrong or deviation you see. It is either you say this is not good with your tongue, Or if you have the power, refer it to the authority for them to change it by imposing or using some degree of force, or you hate the existence of that phenomenon in society and never be part of it, but demonstrating against a ruler that you yourself, you have already selected, appointed, given a mandate to rule you, I think it would have been much easier for you to communicate him, either verbally or through a written material, or send somebody to him. Because demonstrations can be hijacked by an enemy. An enemy can hijack a demonstration and cause havoc and cause social strife and social problems. So the best way for a Muslim to express his disgust, his offensive feelings against a situation is either you just write a letter to the leader, tell him, or call an assembly of elders or meetings of the community, tell them this is not true. But the leader as an individual has no power. It is the community, the grassroots, who has the power, who are empowered to eradicate that evil that you are complaining against. Sometimes, let me give you a very good example. If at all we are not having regular electricity, but 99% of the Gambians are not paying their bills regularly, and the company needs cars to buy fuel, are we justified to go into demonstrations? No, we are not justified. Let us go to the community, arrest everybody who has not paid the bill, or disconnect all their meters. When they pay it, you find that there will be no problem again. Electricity will be supplied properly and regularly. So what we do sometimes, we put the cart before the horse. This is our problem. We don't address the root of the problem, but we just go after the secondary symptoms of the problem, creating another third syndrome, what is called the domino principle. When you touch one, all of them fall down.
Thank you very much. This question reads, what would be the judgment if I am in class attending my lesson while it is prayer time?
Well, I think prayer in Islam, there is nothing called a straight-jacketed Islam. Islam has never put anybody in a bind. That is, put on you a jacket that you can never unwear. There is nothing like that. Even prayer time, you are given enough time, a time of grace. You are in class, you are learning, and learning is the highest form of worship. And you have enough time to go and pray, because the beginning of the end of Salatul Zuhur, that is the midday prayer, where it ends is where the Salatul Asr begins. So why are you in a haste and you are learning? If you go to pray and the people continue learning in your absence, you don't have to tell me that prayer is important than that, because you are creating a gap in your mental structure of learning, understanding of that very subject. If you happen to be a teacher tomorrow, you have a gap in your mind, you cannot transmit that gap to a student. It's going to be the same gap. You have already installed a gap in the mind of the student. Then you are a bad teacher. I think you get my point. So you don't do that. So you sit and finish the class, there's enough time you go and pray.
Thank you very much. I think that point also been clarified. This Olympic can read. Can one pray in a house where teachers are present on the wall?
Well, you can pray, there's no problem. Islam is not an extreme religion. You can pray in a house where there are pictures. Islam, there is no extremism in Islam. Because, Islam has clearly laid down the conditions that renders a prayer null and void. To invalidate a prayer, I think every Muslim knows that. And among the factors that invalidate a prayer, you have never read a book or you have never found in any tradition that a picture invalidates your prayer. Have you ever come across it? Except if somebody, a very extreme sect from the 13th century, somebody who is completely disconnected from reality of humanity, will tell you that a picture would invalidate a prayer. That's impossible. That's impossible. They have no connection to prayer. And the same Sheikh who are just propagating these unprogressive notions of Islam, they forget that they are themselves are being photographed 24 hours. They are appearing on channels, TV channels, edited Those TV channels, those cameras, are they not pictures? So they are in a dilemma. They are telling us something and they are doing the opposite. Absolutely. We don't need to take ideas from people. Let us take the notion and understanding of Islam from the Quran and from the Sunnah. Somebody will tell you, look, you can take Islam from the scholars. I don't say that nobody should take Islam from the scholars, but we should be very careful from whom. Who is the scholar? Who is this scholar that we should take Islam from? This is why every Muslim is charged to go and learn, to seek knowledge, so that you can never be hypnotized, you cannot be deluded, you cannot be fooled, you cannot be advised wrongly, you cannot be given a concept that is out of context in meaning, in notion, and in impact.
Thank you very much. This other question is, what's the Islamic ruling on a person tying jujus? Juju, yes.
But I don't think in Mandinka there is anything called juju. But juju, even the English, they're very intelligent, very wise people. The dictionary, in fact, is a complete fool book because they took what they call the Hellenized words. Because juju is not English. Juju is either African or Asian, but I believe it's African. Well, we call it Sappho. Because no Englishman will tell you your spelling is wrong by spelling juju, J-U-J-U. No English teacher will tell you the spelling is wrong. Any teacher who says the spelling is wrong is a stupid teacher. Because juju is not English. Isn't it? So, adabra cadabras. We call it the adabra cadabras or the incantations. So for that matter, a juju is, I really prefer to call it raw technology. Very raw technology. It's just like somebody using a stone tool to slaughter a sheep. Now, does it make any sense? To take a stone, you sharpen a stone, and you want to slaughter a sheep with a stone. Is it logical now? No, it's not logical. So juju or sappho is raw technology. Because the essence is no more. The time is no more. The person making the juju is no more that person who believes in the juju. Because that person himself is in a spiritual dilemma. He does not even believe in the juju. Before you believe in a juju, you have to be hypnotized, inculcated with the potencies of a juju. You have to born in a juju community. You have to grow, you have to drink the waters of a juju community before you believe in a juju. The person who was making juju believes in nothing absolutely. He believes in nothing. Isn't it? So he believes in juju naturally, these are natural forces. These are the hidden potential natural forces embedded in nature. He uses them, he exploits them, because he believes in them. The person seeking his assistance believed in the power of the juju, and the community was a juju community. Now the person making the juju does not believe in juju. The person asking for juju does not believe in juju. There is no juju community, and the essence of juju is completely finished. So why should you put on juju? You say this juju is going to protect me. When you forget the juju in your house, you go on the street, you run to the house again. Why is it that the juju cannot come and say, oh, you forget me here, let me just fix me on your body? I mean, man is everything in this world. We are superior than the angels. Even the angels, if they want to come into this world, they are bound to transform their nature into that human nature. It is the Quran which says it. When the guests came to Abraham, they transformed into men. When they went to Lut, they transformed into men. When Jibril came to Muhammad trying to reciting the Quran with him during Ramadan, he transformed into men. This is our land. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Minha khalaqnahum wa minha nukhrijuhum. Minha khalaqnakum wa minha nukhrijuhum. Minha khalaqnahum. وفيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجهم تارة أخرى. So absolutely it is our land, it is our domain, it is within our power, our jurisdiction Nobody would come here from the outer world except with a visa granted to you at our borders. So why do you take a juju? Juju is enslaving your humanity. It's insulting yourself. There is no juju that can profit, and anytime there is a juju, there is evil attached to juju. A juju has never done anything positive.
I think with that little